You might be wondering, what is an RFID? If you have ever tapped your credit card or accidentally walked out of a store with a pair of jeans you forgot to pay for, you are probably already acquainted with this new and exciting technology. RFID was first patented by a man named Mario Cardullo in 1973. RFIDs use radio frequency waves to transmit information from a device to a machine that read those signals. The entire RFID system is composed of three main parts: the antenna, the transceiver, and the transponder. RFIDs can differ from each other in many ways. The security of these devices can range from no security at all, for instance in the RFID that comes packaged in every DVD, to fully encrypted devices, which are found in new enhanced driver's licenses. Currently, there are two types of RFIDs, passive and active. Passive RFIDs are simple and inexpensive and powered by the transceiver. More advanced technology also exists which allow batteries to be placed inside these devices, making them active. Placing a battery inside these transponders helps control the frequency of the devices, which is important in terms of the speed in which the reader reads the information. Batteries can affect the distance that a reader is required to be within in order to read a tag, and batteries can allow for more information to be stored. RFIDs come in all shapes and sizes, hidden or conspicuous, and serve a variety of purposes. Often they are referred to as the new barcodes because they allow for items to be identified and tracked at certain stages of the business process using technology rather than manual entry. The stored information can be automatically updated and changed at each process. The transceiver, also known as the reader, is the system that allows RFIDs to work. A typical reader has three main functions. These functions include activating, reading, and understanding. From the antenna, generally located within the reader, low-frequency radio waves are emitted, which powers up the RFID device. The device then sends its information, which is programmed into an integrated microchip, back to the reader to be gathered and then decoded so that it can be understood by a human who has the ability to gain access to this information from a host computer. The information can then be used to assess and analyze information, better control inventories, and make manual labor less strenuous and more efficient. Simple radio waves can be transmitted to a reader from within a box, from a pallet wrapped in plastic, or from within the pockets of those who thieve. As long as the RFID comes within an appropriate distance from the reader, which can be both portable or stationary, information can be gathered. Barcodes, once damaged or altered, are completely useless. RFIDs reduce this problem, however, their ability to transmit data can be affected. RFIDs emit ultra-high frequency waves. Water and metals are substances that could eliminate the ability of a reader to read the information or can make the device transmit incorrect information. Readers can process many RFIDs simultaneously within seconds. Once the information is taken from the device, understood by the reader, and transferred to the host computer, many different things could occur, such as credit card information being gathered for a transaction or alerting a sound to notify a librarian that a book is leaving. The possibilities are endless. As the technology progresses, a large focus is placed on the ability of readers to read the information more efficiently. Some recent research involves the possibility that RFIDs will be able to be read from a huge reader that would be placed into space. This would, however, only begin with a huge advancement in the frequency capabilities of the RFID technology. Currently, you can find simple passive RFIDs at your local library and various retail outlets in your area. Many industries, however, are finding important new uses for this technology. Major players in RFID technology advancements and implementations include schools, libraries, grocery stores, the Department of Defense, Target, IKEA, Volvo, pharmaceutical companies, automobile companies, the Treasury Department, Walgreens, hospitals, Procter & Gamble, law enforcement agencies, animal shelters, the FDA, state and federal governments, and the company doing the most to convert to the RFID world, Walmart. Walmart and other companies believe that this technology has the potential to aid in the cost and value effectiveness of their supply chain in all areas from supplier to customer. If Walmart has their way, widespread use of RFID is soon to occur. This would be the largest adoption of RFID technology ever, and experts predict that this would pave the way for other retailers to get on board and also start using this technology, ultimately causing a trickle-down effect into other industries. However, the advancement of RFID technology paves the way for privacy concerns of humans who are subjected to the mandatory use of RFID. RFID chips can be placed inside humans and can store very personal data. This information being put on a chip increases the risk of unauthorized people gaining access to the information. Many privacy concerns are raised in regards to widespread use of RFIDs because of their ability to be included in items without public knowledge. This infringes on important rights we have as Americans because as consumers we have little, if any, control in editing or deleting the information contained on the chip. Governments have tried to address the matters in some ways. California, Wisconsin, and North Dakota currently have laws barring employers from forcing people to have an RFID implant. Washington State also passed a law in 2006 that declares an electronic Bill of Rights, which limits what items can be tagged and traced. In Michigan, the only law involving RFIDs was introduced when it was decided that RFIDs would be used in enhanced state driver's licenses. The law requires that the information contained within these RFID licenses be encrypted and requires the Secretary of State to ensure that the RFID technology is secure from unauthorized access and disclosure of information. The law also requires a consent form signed by each person who is issued an RFID license stating they understand and consent to the technology. Federally, little has been done to protect citizens. However, a law passed in 1986 in regards to protections of wiretappings could easily be interpreted to include RFIDs. The Electronic Communication Privacy Act, also known as the ECPA, defines electronic communication and prohibits the unlawful access and disclosure of communication content. It also prevents the government from requiring disclosure of electronic communication without due process. Constitutional rights that protect citizens against obtrusive use of RFID is the Fourth Amendment right to privacy. It is often argued that having active RFID chips within the home could allow people in unauthorized access to appropriate readers the ability to invade your personal spaces without one's knowledge and without warrants. This amendment would protect against that. Ultimately, it is up to the Supreme Court to interpret the laws and put in place through legal appeals. NASA v. Nelson was heard by the High Court in early October, and a decision is not yet available. The case, however, involves the question of privacy in terms of open-ended background checks on public employees. This decision could affect the RFID world because information stored in RFIDs could be changed almost instantly. If a state-issued RFID card was continuously updated, can that information be used against you after an initial background check was already cleared? We will soon find out. The possibility of micromonitoring citizens and also concerns of privacy are major reasons that the government is stepping in to regulate the uses, and as RFID technology spreads, we can only anticipate more laws regarding its uses and limitations to appear. With any new technology, it's hard to predict the potential encounters that may arise. There are some suggested policies already available which can help in the decision-making process when writing or updating company policies. The most important person to a business is the customer. Therefore, we should start by addressing the policies that are implemented in regards to the customers. Many people are weary of this new technology. Therefore, providing RFID tags and removable labels and packaging will be one way to ease fears. Posting informative signs is a technique that Walmart is beginning to use. It is important to remember that consumers expect privacy, and losing their trust could prove detrimental to your business. In regards to employee use of company-issued RFID tags and badges, it is important to review and use the technology and have a full understanding of what it is used for, how it is used, and also why it is used. Employees should never feel in the dark about what information is stored about them. If the use of RFID produces a database of information about individual employees, it should be transparently displayed to them. It is important to make sure the technology is frequently reviewed so that the company knows only authorized readers can obtain the information. Because this technology is new and unfamiliar to most people, it would also be beneficial to have an expert available within the company to answer and address any employees' questions or concerns. There are companies who specialize in RFID training programs, including two located in Flint and Port Huron, Michigan. These programs can help employees better understand the technology they are using and also help companies better understand how to use the technology to their fullest advantage. It is important to weigh the decision of whether or not to implement RFIDs between the possible benefits and the potential liabilities that may follow. Those who have worked with this technology have recorded increased productivity rates and accuracy of information that was once manually entered. The RFID tags allow their information to be rewritten, which helps to better track items along the supply chain. The information gathered from RFID use allows for more efficient analysis, and some companies have reported as much as a 15% increase in sales after the technology was introduced, while also keeping more accurate inventories. Schools and hospitals can also benefit by keeping better records of students, patients, doctors, teachers, and their materials. RFIDs can also ensure that certain things are accomplished, such as doctors washing their hands to prevent hospital-related illnesses, or guaranteeing that teachers are where they need to be when they need to be there. Privacy advocates don't see the fruit on the trees. They argue that RFIDs will forever hold the information that was last programmed into their circuit, which is always traceable with the appropriate reader. These privacy concerns are huge. Databases seem to be a vulnerable part of any company, and it is necessary that stored information be protected from any unauthorized users. This can lead to identity theft if personal information happens to get in the wrong hands. Financially, the price of some more advanced RFIDs could also pose problems for companies when comparing their price to their benefit. Customer reactions can also prove to be a dissuading argument against implementing these. However, through more knowledge and understanding, this will change. A lack of a worldwide standard also keeps costs high and creates issues when trying to use these devices in such widespread ways. RFID is an exciting new technology that will continue to advance and modernize the world as we know it.